What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Welcome to Cooperation. Your boy over here with the studio. I want us to look at the Louvre. There's a robbery that happened in Paris, the Louvre, the Louvre. I want us to look at it to see what happened. You tell me what are your sentiments. This guy is a lot of jewelry, and it has brought a lot of I don't know. They broke into the they broke into the Paris group at 9 a.m. and so nobody knows um, at what time where they went or something. So yeah, man, tell me what you think, man. They can like subscribe, share, follow in the comments there, man. I want just look at it. We see the fact.
France, there has been a robbery at the world-famous Louvre Museum in Paris. Well, let's cross live to the city and to our correspondent, Hugh Schofield. And Hugh, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that this news has just broken. It happened only a couple of hours ago. Three men, it seems, broke into the Louvre Museum after it had opened. It wasn't an overnight robbery. It was when there were people in the museum. About 9:30, this happened. They broke in on the Seine River side of the museum using a goods lift. Now, it's not clear to me whether this goods lift was inside a building or whether it was on the outside of the building temporarily installed because there's renovation work there. In any case, they used this lift to go up to the first floor. There, broke in to the Apollo Gallery, breaking through the windows, maybe using the...
So you've had they went to the Apollo Gallery. So after they went to the Apollo Gallery, that's what I think. That's what
small chainsaws which they had to break in. And then in this Apollo gallery, which is a very ornate gallery containing what remains of the French crown jewels, they robbed a number of these items of jewellery. One newspaper is saying 9 items, but that's not being confirmed. They then very quickly got out, down the lift presumably, and onto 2 scooters, or 1 scooter, scooters in any case, and were seen making a way down towards the south of Paris and out on the motorway that way, towards the motorway that leads out of Paris that way. So that's what we know. It is.
so the guys robbed and they went uh, and they fled. The guys who robbed fled with bikes, mopeds. The problem is this jewelry was from the colonial time. So, people were saying man, like, it was worth a lot of money. So that is the problem. Budget just clear the
Of course, an enormously bad bit of news for the Louvre Gallery and a very dramatic, dramatic event.
You mentioned crown jewels. Do we know what kind of jewels were in this room?
Well, I'm not an expert, but I've done a quick bit of research, and you know, there were French crown jewels just as there were British crown jewels, and most of them were broken up after the revolution disappeared. But you know, after the revolution, there were other monarchies and empires in France, and they accumulated bits of jewelry as well. A lot of them were sold off and broken off, so it's not like it was like the British crown jewels, but there were a number of very, very valuable items of jewellery there, particularly ones belonging to the Empress Eugénie, who was the wife of Napoleon III, who ruled France between 1816.
Sebastian, they're saying that there are very many valuable items, including including the Napoleon the Third, how many including Napoleon the Third. So it means this this gold and this jewelry was very valuable. But the problem is it didn't have the correct security. That's why it's so sorry for them. But let us listen to their demise.
1860 and 1850 and 1870. Among those items are some which are quite well known, with diamonds and other items of jewellery in them, diadems and a crown and so on. And if those have gone, then that is a big deal.
Do we know what kind of security was in place at the Louvre when this happened?
Well, I mean, it goes without saying that the place is an extremely elaborate system of protection. I mean, there are guards there and electronic alarms, and I'm sure all sorts of things. It's interesting that the break-in happened, though not overnight, which is when most of these robberies take place. Robbers infiltrating under the cover of night and so on. This was brazen. This was when there were people about. This is when it had opened. But I guess they imagined they could do it sufficiently quickly that they could get in and out before being stopped. And I suppose that this. Well, I imagine, but I'm speculating here that this renovation work might have allowed them access that they would not otherwise have been able to have if they could get up on a special lift that was there. But all this remains to be elucidated. We need to find out the value of the hall, what exactly has gone, whether it is indeed these jewels from the Emperor Eugenie's collection, how much that is.
So, they're saying it was for Emperor Eugenie, but um, the guys who robbed the place, when you come, the guys, the renovation people, they robbed the place at 9 a.m. mchana mchana, so ilikuwa mission impossible kamchanero. So wakaamua chicken aje ting 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 ting, wakashikana chicken aje mgaza na nini na nini kamili ting ting ting, wameenda renovation. Kila si walikuwa na overall, kwa na overall uh, wakavalia reflector, wakavalia reflector, wakaingia ambao wakaingia job. So that is what happened. He went and he stole a lot of diamonds from the Louvre in Paris. This is a major story. This is a major story. The Louvre diamonds. Eh. But anyway, that's my 2 cents on this. Can you like subscribe? Tell me what you think about all of this in the comments. If you're from Paris, tell me how. Tell me how the. Unataka kutoka Paris kweli? Kama unataka kutoka Paris, hata mimi nitashukuru. But anyway, manzi, tunajaribu kuhistory manzi. Kama nakuboba tembaba, kama nakubamba manzi, nashukuru na appreciate. Kama unasikia sound, manzi, comment hapo down, kila kitu kwa vipi. Tusikie venye yake
Is worth and
so now let us look at the same story from a different perspective.
We are getting more of the incredible details through the day today of the robbery at the Louvre Museum, one that took less than 7 minutes from the moment the group of 3 or 4 thieves broke into the first floor of the southeast building at the museum, smashing a window, dressed.
So as you've heard, the thieves took 7 minutes, bro. 7 minutes. Kuingia, kushika, kutoka. Mtu wangu. 7 minutes. 7 minutes. manzi. Ushaomoka. 7 minutes. Wacha tungoje tusikie.
It's reported as workmen. 9:30 this morning, broad daylight, and using an extendable power ladder from outside, using then a workman's lift. to get into the room they'd targeted. It's been described by Laurent Nunez, the Interior Minister, as priceless historical and cultural value that's been taken. It's not clear exact at the moment as to what has been removed, but jewellery from 2 displays at the museum's Apollo Gallery is where the jewels were taken. It holds the remnants of the French crown jewels. The Louvre, as you can see here earlier, closed shortly after. Exceptional reasons, it said. And authorities recovered a 19th century gem-encrusted crown near the museum, but the culprit's still at large and a target of a manhunt. Let's bring in Arthur Brand, historian detective, as I mentioned at the top, the so-called Indiana Jones of the art world, celebrated.
So the thieves understood the loot. They forgot they left out a crown. It was a crown, or like this, a crown. So when they were stealing the loot, they dropped the crown. Now when they're dropping the crown, it's dropped, man. Very bad. So man, but they don't know the value of this of this of what they do. Very bad, very bad. But anyway, man, hey, those thieves felt nice. Jama, I'm a little bit from Bombay, but anyway,
For recovering priceless works of Dali, Picasso, Van Gogh, and joins us on the programme. Welcome to France 24 tonight, Arthur. Let me ask your initial thoughts about how brazen this was and how quick it was too.
nimeruka hapa mwanziki
The world's most famous museums is a crime scene. Priceless jewels were stolen from the Louvre in a brazen robbery in broad daylight.
To be completely honest, this operation lasted almost 4 minutes. It was very quick. We have to say that these are professionals. Organised crime today targets objects of art, and museums of course become targets.
It's believed the thieves used a furniture elevator to access the upper levels from
the crown jewels related to Napoleon. It's the ultimate heist. This is something you see in movies like Ocean's 11 and Ocean's 12. So it's the theft of the decade.
Your immediate sort of questions, you look a lot at museums, museum security. What questions do you have right now about just how this came about, 9:30, broad daylight, the speed of it, why they might have chose this morning, for example?
Well, it's Sunday morning. It's the quietest morning in the week. People are recovering from Saturday night, and it seems like a very simple theft. You know, they used this ladder. They entered. It took them 7 minutes to break the glass, which was not thick enough, obviously, and they went away with all these crown jewels. So something was wrong in the Louvre, not only today, but apparently already before, because, you know, it went too easy.
What do you mean? Talk to me about the comparisons that you perhaps have looked at in the past. Heists where security's been of question, and what you've made in the past of the security at the Louvre.
Well, it's not that difficult to steal something from a museum. You can take a gun with you. The problem is what museums should do is they should slow these.
And so now you see the problem is they stole some fuck points name. They they use this crane to access the museum. So you see the problem again, very very big problem. Okay. So you tell me what you think on this, but this is a huge problem, a very big problem.
Thieves down. What they do is they go 2-3 weeks before these thieves enter the museum, and they look at the glass, the vitrines, the doors, and they know they have only like 7 minutes.
So if this manze hope YouTube itabani hizi video kwa sababu ya hizo maadvert tutajaribu tu. So unaona hii crown ndo waliangusha very bad ama ni nafaa ni point na hii. So hii crown ndo waliangusha man. Hii crown wangeomoka nayo mbaya sana. Hii crown wangeomoka, so hii crown ndo waliangusha very bad. So yeah man. I'm trying to show you that this they they really stole a lot of jewelry from this guy. So let us continue here.
before the police arrives. And in this case, they thought we can take this chance, and it happened, you know. So the glass was not thick enough. It was too easy to enter the doors. It was a complete disaster, this one.
I've seen your comment today that you've said this is a mistake for the thieves because French security services will no doubt be involved. The scale and the shock of this. Tell us about that.
Well, you know, if you target any museum, you get the police after you. But in this case, the Louvre, the most important museum in the world, stealing the crown jewels, Napoleon, you know, it's too much. This is headlines all over the world, and the fear is if you can do this heist at the Louvre, it can happen everywhere. So it's a bad day for the museum world, and.
Into the Louvre, the Louvre, into the Louvre. So then I hope just pronounce it. So the thieves make off with jewels of inestimable value. Smash and grab at the Louvre. The 7 minutes, bro. 7 minutes.
I hope they will be recovered pretty soon. Let's fingers crossed.
Given your experience in detective work, given your past, your advice is always going to be fairly valuable right now. What are your thoughts about the best way to catch them, the best method to go about it? Is there a key period? I imagine it's right at the start. And is there much chance?
Video calendar. Check video calendar. Check.
Lay low for a while because there is too much news now, too much media. And, you know, I think the police, if they catch them within a week, we might see these pieces back. If it takes longer, it will be difficult because most likely they will try to get rid of it as soon as possible. They might already have a plan. They might know people who can dismantle these jewels, who can melt stuff down. So it's a race against time.
So
will be called in. So it will be a real manhunt as France never has seen before in these cases.
Well, you get to the heart of something for any art lovers, and Laurent Nunez, the French Interior Minister, mentioned it as well. It's an incalculable price of things that have gone missing, whether it's to do with Napoleon, the Empress as well. All of that centuries of diamonds, and the fact that, as you talk about.
so what do you think about all of these situationships? Me think personally, those things made is the are the diamonds from Africa or from Europe? I would want to know. Tell me in the comments if you think that the diamonds of the gold was from Africa. So it's a whole conundrum. So this guy is as a brand art crime detective, Amsterdam, Netherlands. German. Ni story sad, si ati ni kitu pana ati kuona ati kusema ati tunabambika ati kuona ati. But You know, he emailed me long, itabidi nikate hapo. Itabidi nikate hapo. That's good.
It must be said that these are professionals. Organised crime today targets art, and museums have obviously become targets. Because France, as you know, is a country with a rich historical heritage of great value, and so these museums have also become targets for these criminals.
Let's cross to the Louvre. Let's bring in Shirley Sitbum, our correspondent there. Shirley, it was quite incredible listening to Arthur Brand, art detective, saying this is the crime of the decade in the art world. And, you know, there is this...
So the story is this is the art. This is the theft of the decade because they're saying the value of the artwork of the jewelry was of immense value because it was like jewelry stolen from Africa, just came from Africa. Now it is there. Now it is the jewelry from kings, noble people. They get like a couple of small down. As I think they forgot about security because the security that they had it was normal kind of security and they were guided real jewelry. So I think they let the guard down. So they let the guard down. Now what happened? Somebody left around. So I don't know if the audio is catching. I don't know if you're getting the audio. If you're not, so if you are, I'm just trying to fix the audio to see what's the problem. If it's not, it's okay. If it's okay, I'll try to. I'll try to. I'm just.
From outside the building. They then used power tools to break in. One of the world's most famous museums is a crime scene. Priceless jewels were stolen from the Louvre in a brazen robbery in broad daylight.
To be completely honest, this operation lasted almost 4 minutes. It was very quick. We have to say that these are professionals. Organised crime today targets objects of art, and museums of course become targets.
It's believed the thieves used a furniture elevator to access the upper levels from outside the building. They then used power tools to break in. It happened shortly after the museum opened and just 800 meters from the Paris police headquarters. Their target was the Apollo Gallery, home to a host of national treasures, including France's crown jewels. Also displayed there, artifacts belonging to the Emperor.
So the target was the Apollo Gallery to get the artifacts. If you haven't gotten the story right, Apollo Gallery. So let's continue.
Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte.
It's one of the most guarded buildings in Paris, which makes it one of the most guarded buildings in France and in the world. So it does come as a big surprise to the world. To those paying attention in France, it's also part of a larger chain of break-ins in French museums in the past couple of months.
An investigation is underway, and police are searching for the thieves. Earlier this year, the Louvre asked the government to fund renovation aimed at increasing security at the museum. And after this daring heist, those calls are only likely to grow louder. Fintan Monaghan, Al Jazeera.
Let me introduce to you Anthony Amore, who's an art theft and museum security expert who has spent 20 years investigating art heists. He's also the author of an upcoming book, The Rembrandt Heist. He joins us from Boston. Anthony, thanks for your time. This story has captivated the newsroom here in Doha. I mean, the police reports are extraordinary. We're not talking about a small museum in a provincial backwater. We're talking about the Louvre, home to the world's most valuable collections. Nevertheless, police said that an unknown number of thieves arrived on scooters, armed with chainsaws, disc cutters, and gained access to the jewels via a furniture elevator propped up against a second-floor balcony, all within 4 minutes in the middle of the day. How is that possible?
Well, it's interesting the way you phrase that, because most people would think it would be a backwoods museum that would be attacked. But the bigger the target, the more likely it is that thieves will target it. So it makes perverse sense, I guess, that thieves would.
You had when We get.
or that they're crown jewels. Everybody can get a mental image, even if you've never seen them, about how beautiful they are and how valuable they are, not just in terms of dollars, but in terms of cultural patrimony. However, they're especially dangerous in the sense that thieves can break the.
So they've had these jewels were Napoleon's war and Napoleon's wife's jewelry. So they were very beautiful, and when the thieves got them, you can sell them for aesthetic value, you can sell them for their worth. So they are very, very valuable, and they are from the Kitambo time. If you're hearing me, I'm truly grateful. If you're not, I'm sorry, but I'm really trying to sort out this audio thing. Um,
These things up and sell individual gems, and the value of each piece sold separately would be more than the value of the piece if it was sold as a whole. So it's very, very concerning when you see jewels go missing. It's not like stealing a masterpiece where instantly news media such as your own would publicize this image. You might see pieces like this broken up and then individual jewels sold that are indistinguishable to the members of the public.
And when it comes to jewels of this age, is it possible to track them down individually if indeed, as you suspect, the jewellery, the complete items are potentially broken up and distributed?
Yeah, I would say potentially broken up. We don't know for sure, but yeah, they're very difficult to track down. Again, they're not, a single jewel, let's say a single emerald from one of the crowns. It might be large, it might raise some suspicion, but there would be smaller pieces, and it's very difficult for someone to look at one and say, boy, this diamond looks like it came from a piece from the Louvre. That's unlikely. So I'm very concerned about the pieces. That being said,
so here comes the problem and the big trouble. If this jewelry or diamond gets dismantled, that's it. They're gone. They're gone. And they are of millions of valuable money, millions of dollars. So that's the problem. If it gets dismantled, we shall. So let's continue here. So and this guy is saying if the he's saying if someone takes them apart and then he takes them to a jewelry store, either in any place in the world, no jeweler can be able to identify that this particular jewel is from that stock in the Louvre from Paris. No, that's the whole conundrum because clearly when you're stealing and you want to take it somewhere and the guy wants to buy it, they're going to buy it. So that's the whole conundrum. So,
I think that the authorities have some good clues to follow up on that might lead them to the thieves.
Anthony, I think it's fair to call you something of a Sherlock Holmes when it comes to stolen art. I mean, please try and put us in the mindset of a criminal mastermind who may have commissioned a theft like.
so kindly like subscribe. So kindly like subscribe, share, follow. I truly appreciate that. The mama who was there was the French cultural minister. Says that the French cultural minister says that the robbery at the Louvre took only minutes to complete. My God, this guy took only 4 minutes to 7 minutes maximum. They used the furniture run, not really have a so very bad, very bad. Because I come all come into cutters, and so they cut the place. Investigation under after daily robbery takes place in France's Louvre Museum. It's very serious. Very, 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 very serious. Okay. Yeah. So I would want you to tell me what you think about all of this. Um, yeah. So I would want to hear about what you think about this robbery in Paris. If it affects you, if you had some gold in Paris and some jewelry they are kept for you, I'm sorry. But as you can see from the picture, that the images, the jewelry looked amazing, and yeah, it looked really, really good. So, but it's a shame that the problem is Paris has a history, or France has a history of embezzling gold from Africa. So, and probably this gold was from Africa, was from stolen from Africa. So, do you think that it's okay that the money or the gold from the Louvre, um, do you think that it's okay that the gold from the jewelry from the Louvre was stolen, or is it not okay, or is it not just for the thieves to take? Because the problem is also God can take when they how we give. So tell me what you think in the comments. I totally appreciate. If there's a problem with the audio, I'm really sorry. I'm trying to fix it. Bear with me. Kindly like, subscribe.